All right, welcome one and all, whether it be drinkers, designated drivers, Uber, Lyft homies, weed smokers, bartenders, mixologists if you're nasty. Welcome back to another episode of Drunk Upon a Time. I am your host, Dom, and I am joined by almost all the now Drunk Upon a Time regulars. We're going to start off with the ladies because, as I said before, my mom kind of raised a gentleman. And I think since she got here at the beginning, we got to start with my lovely, beautiful wife who puts up with so much shit if you can't tell while listening to this show or watching it on YouTube. Kathy, how you doing, baby?
Doing good.
All right. And of course, my homegirl, the co-host of Top Rope Wrestling Talk, Latina Heat herself, the one and only Grandma Wendy. Say hello to everyone.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens.
Fuck that bitch.
I love saying that. It's the
Fuck
best.
that bitch.
You gotta say it like her, though.
And we'll start in the States and then we'll move to Canada. Of course, we are also joined again by my man, my brother from another mother, local comedian, roast battler, legend, my man Aaron. And I think his bird Cheddar, who just turned 9 this week. Hi, Cheddar. Happy birthday.
Thank you. That's him in the background if you hear it randomly. So I'm trying to bounce between pet rooms.
I think I saw him pop up for a second. I was like, there he is. Oh, man, that bird's crazy. And, of course, last and, well, maybe least, the one and only stoned knucklehead himself all the way from Canada, my man Aaron. Say hello to the people here.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, that works. It's 9 o'clock at night. Whatever.
not when you publish it.
True.
Come on, man. Get realistic.
True. This will probably get published tomorrow. So good morning, all. We're not hungover. We're all at our jobs. Yeah, not really, but maybe.
It will be.
All right. So we got a lot of decent topics for the show. We got several alcoholic beverages and maybe a few other things to burn through. So let's get started right off the bat with a staple of Drunk Upon a Time, and that is Idiot of the Week. Who would like to go first? Because I know I usually start. Would anybody out there like to jump off with this one?
I can't remember the one I had actually. So I'll let somebody else go first, and maybe that'll jog my memory.
Weed affects the short-term memory.
That it does.
All right. Well, since I put it out there, I'm going to start, and it's one I've been wanting to bring up since probably the first time we started recording this show on Revo Geek. Shout out to Adam. We still love you. Come on the show sometime. And my idiot of the week, it could probably be like idiot of the year, decade, millennium, and that motherfucker sadly is Kanye West. And there's so many reasons, but I'm gonna give you the biggest reason for this one.
Okay.
If y'all are as old as I am, you remember Hurricane Katrina. You remember what happened in New Orleans. You remember the telethon. You remember Kanye coming on and literally saying the words, George Bush doesn't care about black people, and you damn near saw Mike Myers have a stroke, right?
He just
Try
to distance himself.
Not me.
It was so funny.
It was hilarious. Now, skip all these years ahead to 2020. In a recent interview, and in many recent interviews, when asked, Kanye West will flat out tell you he not only supports our president, he's voting for him in November.
What a schmuck.
How the
I
fuck?
hear about that.
How the fuck do you go from George Bush doesn't care about black people to I'm voting for Trump in November? Seriously,
Wow.
like, I don't even understand. There's so much else. Don't get me started on like the Kardashians, all the other bullshit that he said. And people try to explain it away by like, oh, well, he lost his mom tragically and that fucked him up. Well, you know what, Kanye? I had the same problem. Okay, my mother's birthday would be in a couple of days, and I lost her suddenly and tragically to cancer, where we thought she was in remission. Now, some of y'all that know me in here, like my man Aaron, we go back like 4 flats on a Cadillac. How much have I changed since that day?
Yeah.
All right, so you can't use that shit as an excuse, Kanye. If I get over it, you get over it too, because you know what you got that I ain't got? Millions upon millions of dollars. You get all the therapy, all the anything you need. Meanwhile, I'm sitting back here with my mother's urn and with a fucking Broncos hat on it because that was her favorite team. Like, I wish she was here.
Me too.
And I ain't got shit to do about it other than drink. And yet here I am drinking and enjoying myself on a show. So don't come at me with that bullshit either. All that is somehow, some way, Kanye got some money and lost his damn mind and damn near ran off with a white girl like Gold Digger says. So as far as I'm concerned, Kanye West. And that one's sad, y'all, because I liked him when he came out.
Man, he was fire.
He was
Man,
hot.
he was fire.
Oh my God, he was
Jeez.
hot. He was the greatest thing going. Like, I defended him when he did the Rolling Stone thing with the crown of thorns and all that, and Jesus Walks. I defended him.
He was
loved
an
him.
animal.
He was, and then he lost his damn fucking mind.
Well, you know, there's a fine line between genius and insanity, you know. So
and
it's
he crossed that shit about 5 years ago.
yeah.
All right, so now that I've got that out there, does anybody else on this lovely panel of drunkards and stoners have an idiot of the week?
Oh man, I'm still like. Granted, I am just coming from work, so I haven't had a chance to like get my brain in. Keep going. Whoever goes next, I'm getting there.
Okay, wait. Wendy's got something.
I'm gonna go with all those morons that have been protesting the stay-at-home orders and stuff. Stay home. Don't be a dick. There's so many people out there fucking risking their lives, and you're gonna be the fucking mooks out there like, oh, this is an injustice. You want to know what injustices are? You really want to go there?
You really do.
Karen, Becky, Susan, Bill, Chad, and Dick. You do not want to go there.
Yeah. And you're out there with your kids, Skylar and Grayson. You know,
Grayson. It's always a kid named Grayson.
Always,
And
isn't it?
Skylar.
Or Braden. It's the
Braden,
Braden or
that's a good
something.
one.
Kyle.
Doesn't our son's class have a Braden in it, or is
Yes.
it Aiden? I couldn't remember.
It's
It's
both.
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 Braden and Aiden.
Aw.
I was
Mhm.
like, oh man.
Oh man.
Mom was at a school, an elementary school. One class had Hayden, Caden, Jaden, and Aiden.
That's cool as hell.
All of them.
She has a hating too.
None of them were related.
That's a lot of dens.
I don't know how to pronounce your name. So you're just 1, 2, 3, and 4.
No,
Done.
but you're right. And to those people with the stay-at-home order, you're out there protesting, do whatever. Do me a favor, do like the Tibetan monks and set yourself on fire.
Oh.
Because we need these
Yes.
parking spaces, okay? The virus will go away if you set yourself on fire, because less people, less virus.
It's times like these. that I'm like,
Mhm.
it's times like these that I'm like, you know what? Why can't Thanos be real? Why can't he just
Yeah.
all of y'all
Yeah.
have existence?
Just survival of the fittest right now. All
Honestly.
the
Like,
dumb people are going to get it and die.
Can I go and find the stones and like grab the gauntlet? It might hurt me, but I'm already ugly, so I don't give a fuck.
When Thanos gave his speech and I was watching in the movie theater, everyone was like, I was like, yes, yes.
Mhm.
Yes, in the theater when he gave that speech, I was like,
fuck out of here.
you know what? I want to hate you, but you make a great point.
I can't even hate him. I'm
But
like, that's
just remember,
solid.
it's still genocide. One way or the other, whether it's doing this or not, it's still genocide.
True, but if it
It was
gets rid of all the
interesting.
idiots,
But are we just okaying the Tide Pods now? Like, let's make them look as tasty as possible.
I don't
Just
know.
like a sucker.
If you
Again,
eat a Tide Pod,
Aaron,
Like, we
I
gotta,
know-
we gotta
on it.
sucker
I don't
those
know if
little
you
fat kids.
remember. I don't know if you remember this long ago, but when we named the Tide Pod kids Idiot of the Week, I was like, good, fuck them. The more they die, the more parking spaces I'll have. I said it back then. I'll say it now. Light yourself on fire. I'll get some more parking spaces. This
Yeah.
virus will go away quicker. Fuck it. I don't care. Survival of the fittest. The kid that decides that to protest coronavirus in a coronavirus hot zone doesn't grow up to have kids of its own. Fuck them.
Yep.
If it was good enough for George Carlin, it's good enough for my opinion. That's all I'm saying.
True.
No, I do want to like sit down and speak with one of those like anti-vaxxers just to see if their like statements have changed. Just from like just out of curiosity, not even to argue or to prove a point.
I worked with an anti-vaxxer.
How do they feel about that? Have they
Mm-hmm.
said anything?
Is it your work wife or is it the other short one?
Are they coming to work still?
Names.
Yeah. Yep. She works part-time.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. I know what you're talking about. All right. Wow.
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
Because
Now
I support the anti-vaccination thing to a degree, and it's I've said this way before. You can only judge how clean some people are because like it. Sorry, getting off track on that one.
okay. You work with dogs. So does the anti-vaxxers, do they have a dog, and does that dog have a rabies shot?
Yes.
So they'll vaccinate the dog, but not the child. Think about that one for a minute.
Yep. And she has 2 small children. So
I mean, I'm almost tempted to reach down and push this button and just. Oh, my bad. My hand slipped. That one didn't count. Like, how you gonna vaccinate your dog but not your children?
I
know this person has children. That's it. She got kids, and you don't vaccinate those kids, but the dog gets one.
The dog gets it.
So the dog is more important. Really?
Yes. Again, F them kids.
F them kids love that dog. Apparently.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm sorry, you can't ask us because we vaccinate our child. It's like you got a shot, put it in him. I don't give it because again, Aaron was kind of the knucklehead was kind of on the right track, and then he derailed for a minute. But like, you don't know, like there are some people out here that are damn dirty, and you don't know what they're carrying. So you got to make sure that there are certain things that your kid just don't get because that will kill your kid.
Like I can
even in terms of you getting the right vaccinations, you can ensure that like other people though haven't created another strain of this or that, and you can ensure that you haven't already come in contact with it. Like,
all right, yes, you make a great
shit,
point.
It all mutates, and
you make a wonderful point, and I can't knock that. It's just I at heart
have a strong fucking immune system, and it's called the survival of the fittest. It's natural selection.
But I am at heart, I'm a prepper, and it's better to get something and not need it than to need it and not get it. Therefore, put the vaccine in him.
Yeah, it's just
sure. But forced vaccinations is kind of on the same side as genocide. So, if we're snapping our fingers, like by all means,
is would you consider natural selection actually survival of the fittest though?
To a point, yes.
Isn't that the same thing?
Yeah.
Coming out that cardigan. All right. Just a few sips. She's coming out that cardigan looking fancy and shit.
I was hot. Jesus.
That was a cute cardigan though. Leopard print. Love it.
I got her that. No.
It just got me thinking like the days of shaking hands and passing babies around.
Yeah,
kissing babies.
Kissing babies.
No,
kissing
it's
babies for the election.
You remember how many people when we had DJ were like, "Oh, can I hold him?" And like family, we were okay with, but there were random people in the streets just asking, "Oh, can I hold it?" No.
Other cultures though, they consider that like to be sort of a thing. Like you have to pass your kid around so that he does get exposed to all that shit.
Yeah.
Like they consider that to be part of licking those fucking doorknobs.
I was gonna say
the armpits.
Wasn't there some kind of like crazy woman that said something wild to you right after you had DJ? Like we were sitting in Starbucks waiting on our coffee. It was like a week after we got out of the hospital. What did she say to you? Like she ran up to you and she looked at DJ and she was like, "Oh, he's so cute." And then there was another line and I can't remember.
Well, I was coming out of the bathroom because I had to change his diaper. I just walked out and he was really tiny. I was holding him, and she said like, "Oh, he's so cute. Did you just have him in the bathroom?"
Oh,
I'm like,
snap.
I was like, hold the fuck up.
He was like 2 years old.
Should have been like, nah, just got him in the trash can over there. I'm gonna take him home.
He was a week old. He was clean. He was dressed, and this woman.
Right, like,
did you?
He had on Jordans.
He did.
Yes, he did.
So,
I still got his little first pair of Jordans over here on the mantle. The little mellows.
people say the dumbest shit when
Can
it
you
comes
reach?
to like babies and pregnancies though. Like
They're,
I was at a
little
store.
mellows.
I was at a store, Taco Bell bloated one time, and a lady came up and started rubbing my belly and was like, "Oh, how far along are you, baby?
Uncle Keenan.
What do you do?" I was like, in about 5 minutes, I'm about to have them taco poop.
Right here.
Taco poop.
Oh, look at that cute tiny shoe.
Baby's first Jordan. He picked them out too. They're mellows. He picked them out at the Nike outlet. I was like, so proud. He just grabbed one off the shelf and was handing it to me. I was like, okay, we're gonna get you that. I was so proud. But yeah, I mean, people, you know, they're just some obviously some weird people, and they believe some weird things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to, I mean, you have every right to. But if you end up with polio, don't fucking holler at me because I'm vaccinated. You're not.
Yeah.
You don't even have to go that extreme. The flu. I've been getting my flu shot every fucking year. I've been okay. 1 year I didn't get it. I got a flu that was so nasty. I thought I was gonna die, dude. I was out. I was laid out for a week.
Right, and you didn't eat a raw bat or nothing.
Hell no.
Okay,
I wonder,
so
how do they determine what raw bat tastes like to sell in a restaurant?
fuck it,
Like,
I know.
at some point, you had to have bad raw bat and good raw bat and all types of.
Did they have like
bat.
a taste tester for the raw bat? Like, okay, this one works.
Tell you
Yeah,
what, I'll
like-
let you know if I ever open up a bat restaurant.
I don't even think it
Like
was
the bat.
restaurant. It was just like a street vendor, right? Because they have a bunch of street vendors.
Well, you still have
There's
to
a
have
market.
confidence enough in your food to be able to spend
Right.
money to become a street vendor for bat meat. Like, what part of a bat do you eat?
Could you
though?
imagine if you go into the raw bat business?
Torso.
Torso,
Imagine
yeah,
though,
I guess.
Like you go into the raw
fry the
bat
little
business
legs.
and nobody's buying your shit. So now you're just going broke because nobody wants to eat your raw bat.
I got 15 pounds of raw bat and I don't know what to do with it.
I'm gonna do with all these bat wings.
You're gonna turn into like crazy raw bat guy. I'm passing on the savings to you.
We got some of the
Why
finest
can't
raw
you,
bat in town.
Wrap that bat, like put the bat on a stick and wrap it in bacon and stuff, and then roast it with like honey garlic and like I don't know, make it a piece. Like why does it have to be raw fucking bat?
Right, I never
That's
understood
true.
that either.
How do you know the
There's
cooking
something to be said
temperature
about
of a
fish.
bat?
Man, Knucklehead is on point tonight. I gotta give you.
He is fine.
Why does it have to be raw bat? The same can be said about fish. Why does it have to be raw? Like fucking sushi eaters out there like, raw fish is so good.
I'm looking right at her. Her and her
Depends
raw
on the
fish and her
preparation.
California rolls and shit. It's like, get that off my. I ain't eating
Oysters.
that.
There's no fish in
Oh.
California rules.
I don't even
No,
like
I-
my
I know
water
what I'm
raw.
Has anyone ever eaten sushi from a shopping mall? Like
Yeah.
I never have. I refuse
Never.
to eat sushi from anywhere that isn't a specialized like sushi establishment.
Yeah, never.
So
I've had it
no
from 7-Eleven.
sushi for you.
Like if
Oh,
there's like
7-Eleven?
grocery store sushi, like no.
Do they even sell sushi at a 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Some
It's
Really?
right.
Oh.
It's right next to the car freshener.
Like, no,
Enjoy.
I got a pizza from 7-Eleven that gave me food poisoning, so I would not touch raw fish. Fuck that.
They put a little gasoline on it for flavor.
Dude, no.
Put a little road salt on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now that we've gotten into all this, does anybody else have an idiot of the week other than me and Grandma?
I honestly don't know if I've had one. I've been kind of low key. I guess I can take that back. I tried to buy a car the other day, and not only did they not have it in stock, but they had 3 different pictures under the same car, but different makes and models. So that was shady.
A shout out to this dealership and this.
Yeah. I guess that works as an idiot a week, and then so I went like I didn't get the car obviously because I didn't know which car I was getting.
Okay, so
Yeah.
random car dealership. You are some charlatan looking motherfuckers, and you are a flat out fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Anybody that bought from there, by the way.
Oh, and check this out. Their excuse was the owner was running errands with it. That was why they didn't have it.
That sounds like some straight up cockamamie bullshit.
It does.
Yeah. No, I found a place around here like that too. When we were looking for our car before I bought my new truck, there was a place right down the street, like half a mile away, and they had some nice cars. And one of them was a truck just like the one I got. But when I looked at it, it's different prices. It's different. It's different model. It's different years. It had different VIN numbers. I was like, they stole that shit.
Yeah, shady.
So we went someplace else. We're happy now, but. Okay. So we got everybody but Knucklehead Aaron, and I know he usually nominates himself. Do you have anybody else that might be worthy of Idiot of the Week?
Well, honestly, and I was thinking about it just like kind of in preparation for the show this week, and like, don't get out of the house all that often. I don't expose myself to fucking like all that outside media shit. So like, unlike you guys, I don't feel like tearing down most of the people, but whoever the fuck it is who greenlights the reviews on Netflix, like there's got to be someone who comes up with the titles and decides to edit Netflix and put in like all the different like whatchamacallit, the synopsises, like the usually a quick sentence or two, and
they give you like the brief description and all that down below.
But there's got to be like someone who approves each and every one of those, and I just like to say that I think that person is the idiot, because like there's no way that like I should have actually saved some of them for the like to actually say them on the show, but
that's a good one.
My brain.
No, that's a good one, because you see
that hurts.
You see some Netflix descriptions, and you're like, "Oh, this is going to be good," and then you watch it, and it's not even close to what they described it was going to be, and you're like, "Wait a minute, I don't know."
Dude, it said the Lion King had quarterbacks and stuff in it. I was like, "What? This isn't a football movie."
I remember when Jessica Jones first came out, they had a description underneath, and they described like the general idea of the show. But then they said, "Join Jessica and the Avengers for all the action," and it was like, "There's not a goddamn Avenger in that whole fucking series."
Yeah, not a single one.
Not one. So you know what? Netflix describers and approval person, we're gonna give you that too.
I do love it though when they mix up the pictures though, and it was like, what was it, that Marie Kondo show, and the picture was like someone running around with an AK-47. Totally fucked it up.
Oh Jesus!
You know they're busy and stuff at Netflix, I guess. I don't know, but. All right, so let's see. I'm trying to hold off on some stuff just in case Chris shows up. But in the meantime, we're going to go into a topic. I don't know if all of you are aware, because maybe you're not up on current events or whatever. But the next topic is, only in America is the apocalypse imported, because and from China, because not only did we get the raw bat and the coronavirus. Now all of a sudden, we got to worry about murder hornets.
All the way
murder hornets?
Have you seen these things? They are fucking scary. They came in from China, and there was actually somebody in North Carolina saying, "Oh, they're here too." They're not. They're in like Washington State and on the West Coast, but they are here in America from China, just like the Rona. It's like, man, even in America, we got to import our apocalypse from China, or we'd be having zombies today.
Tell me about these murder hornets. I need to know. Like, are these like big ass fucking hornets?
They're literally like about that.
They look like Bumblebee from Transformers, literally.
They're about that long, and more than just trying to describe. More than half of them is stinger. No lie. It's just crazy. I got this big friggin'
I'm not allergic, but I have a healthy fear of bees. Like
I am deathly
wasps and hornets.
I am deathly allergic to bee stings, and I don't go outside in the summer without like a can of wasp and hornet spray, because you get anywhere near me, it's like, nope, you're dead. It's kill or be killed at this point. Fuck it.
There's this video of this guy named Coyote Peterson getting stung by it. on purpose because he like measures the pain index.
Oh yeah.
You gotta watch the video. It's really
see
crazy.
That video. I watched it. It's
Brave Wilderness.
People talk about getting stung by them is like having a hot knife stuck in you.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh well, at least it'll cauterize the wound when I die.
But they're actually they pose a greater risk to honeybees because they infiltrate the beehive and they'll like rip off the heads of the honeybees.
Yeah, they're like they hunt them like they little things.
They that was gonna be my next point. The bigger tragedy here is they hunt honeybees, and I kind of like honey, and bees are already.
We need the honeybees.
See, he got the bear right there. When you're done with that, I can show you how to turn that into a bong. By the way, just letting you. I was a MacGyver smoker back in the day. But yeah, I feel bad for bees too because they come after those sons of bitches. It's like, really, I need honey. We need bees. You know, has anybody seen the Bee movie? Did you see what happened when there aren't any?
Yeah,
it's just so sad. It's just fucked up. It's like I'd have a better chance with zombies because I'm not allergic to them. They're bigger. They're slower. I could take a zombie, but a murder hornet shows up.
No. We don't need zombies because the way people are acting over COVID-19 and being all like, I need my haircut, they wouldn't survive zombies, all right?
True.
One of you motherfuckers zombies. If you can't,
I need my neck.
Guys, all of a sudden, so accurate.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, at least with zombies, like, you got a fighting chance. A fucking murder hornet. Like, what are you supposed to do?
The hornet would freeze up like, it's coming at me.
The murder.
That gives me an excuse to walk around with a fucking sword.
That too, because I got a sword cane I've been waiting to use. But, you know, this thing, like, what a murder hornet, like, you know, I have wasp and hornet spray. It doesn't mean it works on this son of a bitch because no one's ever seen one outside of China.
Southeast Asia.
Okay, China, Southeast Asia. Like, what do you got against us? Like, keep your shit over there.
The only thing they said that could technically beat the murder hornet is Thor's hammer.
Which I'll be honest, I am not worthy to wield, so we're in trouble.
We're in very much trouble. Very much trouble.
I mean, I'm a good dude, but I got to check our past. That hammer is not going to come to me, and I will not. Well, we're fucked. Sorry. I had to bring it up because when I saw it, when I looked into it, it kind of scared the living hell out of me. Because like I said, I'm deathly allergic to bee stings, wasps, whatever. And have that shit, it's like,
I mean, you know, if they made it all the way out here to the East Coast, people would lose their fucking minds. I mean, they're already losing their minds over cicadas that are reemerging. Mind you, cicadas don't do shit.
No.
Cicadas just make a lot of noise.
They die within like what 2 days?
They just annoy the shit out of you. Like holler at me when we got locusts. Then we got a problem.
Big time, because they eat everything.
Growing up in Texas, you see them all the fucking time, so you get used to it. Here, at least you only get them every 17 years.
Yeah, locusts are the insecticons of reality, while cicadas just annoy the fuck out of you while you're standing outside at night. Yeah. Like, will you shut the fuck up?
It's not even that bad. You kind of get used to that noise.
You kind of do.
Yeah, you do actually miss it eventually. Yeah. Especially on a summer night.
It just tends to throw off your rhythm when you're doing it outside. Not that I would know.
Sure. Yeah.
Look at the smile on her face. Maybe I would.
Kathy.
Oh God, I love when my wife comes on. She could just back my shit up.
You got a kid to prove it.
Yep.
A kid that wasn't supposed to be here in so many ways. And yet I just put the cape on and made it happen. You're welcome, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. I know. You can hit me later. It's okay. I'm waiting for under the table. Ow! God damn it, Kathy.
Was that the murder hornet? She murder horneted you?
Yeah, she totally murder horneted my shit. Murder horneted.
They even fucking look evil. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
Yes, did you look them up? They look evil as fuck. They look like something that like Kylo Ren would have set loose on the world just to take over. Because it's evil, but it's not that evil. Like it's not Darth Vader level evil. It's Kylo. You know, there's a difference. It's not Palpatine evil, but it's Kylo evil.
That thing could be a Disney villain.
Yeah, it really could. That's gonna be the next villain in the next James Bond movie, if y'all didn't know. I mean, James Bond, Murder at the Murder Hornet. You know, some the spy that murdered the Hornet.
Dang.
Okay. So that was better than I thought because I had to bring it up though. It was. Whew.
Thing is, that murder hornet is so big you can see the hair on it, like legit got hair.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's like legit scary. I know people listen to us on podcasts, but if you check us out at Fox 10 Productions on YouTube, Cheap Pop, you can see the fear in my eyes, and I usually do not have fear in my eyes.
He grew up in Philly, so he know fear differently.
Oh no, I grew up in some shit. So but I see that, I'm like, fuck, you can't shoot that. It's faster than the bullet.
That's assault with a deadly weapon, right?
It really is. It really. Look how much stinger that motherfucker has in Knucklehead's screen. It's like all stinger. That fucker has a machete in its ass.
that thing has a podcast of his own called All Stinger.
Fact.
You have to remember the toxins. Once you get stabbed and paralyzed with the toxins, and then you start to feel the burning sensation where, well, your arm might should fall off, but it doesn't. It's going to hurt like a fucking bitch, I'm assuming.
Yeah, no, it's going to hurt, and for me, it's going to kill me unless I get to the EpiPen right quick. Just fuck.
And like, if you've ever been stung by something before, you feel that for the rest of your life. Like, for the rest of your life, you're going to feel it at some point. I still feel jellyfish sting.
Yes.
It's just like, ow!
Oh, no. It was terrible. I think I brought it up last week that they have like a man-made beach on the York River down here. Yes. And my wife's birthday years ago, they just opened it. So I took her down there for her birthday. And we're in the water. We're having a good time. Next thing you know, I see one jellyfish. Whack! I get hit. And I'm getting hit left, right. I turn around. She's getting hit left and right. We come out of the water. We got like red marks on our stomach, on our legs. It was just like they just came right in with the tide. And there were dozens.
Ooh, I mean, stung my butt.
I know. Your poor butt. I didn't want to pee on that. I really didn't. She's not into water sports. No, she's not Ray. She'll never be Ray.
Just do it, man. Just do it.
Gotta get to like an R. Kelly mind frame.
No, we went to a restaurant. We went to a restaurant that was like right off the beach, and we were like, "Yo, we need vinegar now." And they gave us like a full ass cup of like vinegar, and we just started splashing it on the plates. But man, I'm talking about it. I can feel the one on my side right now. It was like in my rib. I was like, like I can feel it in my bones. It was terrible.
I got stung by a bee once, and I felt bad for it because like it got caught in the sleeve of my sweater. And I didn't have my sweater on, and then I put it on, and I just felt like something stick me. And I was like, God, did I leave a bobby pin on here or something, or like a safety pin? And when I take out my sweater, the poor thing was like stuck in me, but he was inverted, like backwards. So his back was against my arm, and he was just like,
"Hey, Dan."
And I was like, "No, buddy, I'm sorry." Literally crying at the train station, like, "I'm so sorry, Mr. B." It was fucking ridiculous.
I'd be like, "Fuck you, B, I'm dead."
Dude,
I bring my EpiPen, I'm fucked.
That's got to be one of the weirdest ways to die, because you got something really small just going, like, just humping you to death with a needle, like,
murder hornet humping you to death. Come here, motherfucker. I ain't done with you.
Smallest little needle.
You see all this stinger? I got plenty of inches to go.
Come on, guys! Everybody hump this guy to death.
And they all come swarming. It's like, at that point, it's like getting bit by a zombie or having them on you, and you're just like, "Nah, I ain't coming back."
Which reminds me of a funny joke. I gotta write that down.
You gonna tell the joke on the show? You go right there.
Well, okay, I'll give you the premise of the joke. So this is kind of how I do comedy or whatever. So for some reason, when you said that, I just imagine like, well, zombies' clothes always rip. I would hate to be getting bitten, like a zombie dick just fall out his pants or something like that.
So now I'm gonna be a zombie and I got a zombie dick on me? That ain't cool.
Because they're always just like walking around. They don't put on belts and stuff. So
I want the world to know, like, with Uncle Keenan and I, if you work with us or you hung with us, this was how the night would go. Whenever, it didn't matter. Like, we would just riff off one another and make people laugh.
Lord.
And then the next morning, we'd have to be explaining to the store manager why we offended somebody in the corner, but everybody else was laughing.
All right, this is a funny story. Just a quick throwback story.
I'll go for it.
We had this lady complain on us one time, right? It was about our content of which we were, talking in the store. And she went to complain, but I don't know how, but she ended up getting the wrong corporate number to call. And she got an ad for public pubic hair. A community, like a public pubic hair community. And she sent this website to our district manager and everything with a note talking about how offended she was by public pubic hair community.com or something.
I was like, was she talking about my beard? Like
and I don't know how it just got into it, but it turned into like the laughing stock because she was so serious. And it did happen. We pulled it up ourselves. But I just don't know how
it really was. That. I'm sitting there like, hey, don't be talking shit about Aaron because of his hair. He can't help.
I work hard to maintain this.
He does everything he can to keep it tight, I wish I had an afro. I'd have to grow my shit out. I'd look like Sideshow Bob because of curls. So I can't do that, but he can.
Lord.
Oh, man. No, that was fun. I do remember. Oh, my God. We were dying that day. And then, of course, Aaron and I came up with a special code whenever we saw a woman in the store that we both dug.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. We would both walk up to each other and be like, yo, homie, Red Robin at lunch? Like point, but we'd point at the woman, and then they would, and the other person would know where to look. Because it turns, this woman was so hot that when you looked at her, you wanted to say, yum. So Red Robin.
I forgot about that.
Oh, man, like Robin. 6-7 times a day. I'd be working. He'd walk up to me, yo, man, Red Robin.
We got a code Red Robin.
Oh, yeah. He'd get on the intercom, code Red Robin.
I worked at a grocery store for a while, and our code was, we got fresh mangoes today.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
Fresh mangoes just got dropped off. Like a bunch of colleges, so it was like in the summer and the spring, like the hot college babes, like, ooh, the freshest, ripest mangoes. Disgusting.
I now I can't forget. Now I can't get the Saturday Night Live skit out of my head, such as mango. That works. That's cool too. Yeah, It was a lot of fun. People would other dudes would ask us about it, and we'd explain this thing that we had, and they'd just be like, "Damn, that's genius."
The more I think about it, like you from Philly and me from this, like the warmer part of the 757, and they put us in Williamsburg. They stood no chance against us.
No
chance!
No chance in hell! Come get it!
Man. And they put a prime Aaron on in there with keys. Right. They gave me keys.
They gave us alarm codes, man.
Moments in jobs where you're like, who fucking hired me? Like, yes. What were you thinking?
Yeah.
Every day of my life.
I'm sure after that Staples incident, I'm sure the store manager was thinking the same thing about me.
Hired this asshole.
Because we didn't last much longer.
No, because honestly, the Staples thing was week 1. I ended up being there for like 5 years.
And I was there for over 10.
Right? So they kept our ghetto asses around for a while. Oh, I know. They tried to bring me back
brought us
too.
Back twice.
They really did. They were like, we need you back.
Were you guys like the people that like like you guys worked and all, but people were always like, how are they still fucking here? Like, so you're a workhorse, but how the fuck are you still here?
Are you kidding? People loved us. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Anytime something went wrong, people come talk to us and we crack a joke about them, or
we were the more laid back.
They wanted to go.
So.
They wanted to go like drinking with us on the weekend. Like, dude, where do you go?
Okay.
So you go to Bones. We're going to Bones. Yeah. Fuck that. We're gonna be there with y'all. Like, this is gonna be fun. And then the next morning, like, we'd all come in and we're like, yo, that shit was amazing. Are you going tonight?
Hungover, man.
Like, we had that point, just hungover, sitting at a register one morning, and like people are walking in getting their stuff, and they're like, "Wait a minute, you're the Don, aren't you?" I'm like, "Oh shit."
No, that's my twin brother.
No, that wasn't me. It was, but it wasn't me.
You don't remember right.
Yeah.
Because I'm not supposed to be that drunk and then come to work like 3 hours later. So no, it wasn't me.
Not even hungover. I'm still drunk.
It was like literally. It was like literally go drinking, do karaoke, do whatever. Last call at 3 o'clock. Okay, I'm gonna get in my car, drive across the street to the job, sleep in the parking lot, then put on my retail clothes, and go in and do my job.
No shower, no teeth brushing.
No, I would do like the finger brush and like little Listerine before
I wouldn't do that. Didn't need.
But even that, because I was trying not to like let on that I had been drinking all damn night, slept for like 2 hours. But at the same time, I worked in a warehouse, so I get to dragging pallets, I get to throwing stuff, I get to sweating, and people are like, "Oh my god, it smells like a distillery back here." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from." I'm like spraying Axe on myself. It was rough, but we made do. It was fun as hell. Even she would be coming in 7 o'clock in the morning from the back seat of the car to go work with animals at a pet hospital.
Oh, that's right. You did work at I forgot you worked there. Yeah.
Yeah, after the grooming
we both
thing.
Did.
Yeah.
I was that was it. That was something. I miss retail sometimes.
I don't.
I mean, you miss it because I always capitalize on the people. You know what I'm saying? So like I went the whole month of July without paying for one meal at a restaurant.
Right.
Everything was calm. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I could go back in the day. I could go like every lunch was covered. Like either you or some of our other awesome bosses were like, "No, I got you. Don't worry about it." And, you get a half hour.
Even the community. Yeah,
I'm the boss. I'm the boss. I get an hour, so you get a fucking hour. Sit here for a half hour, eat, and then clock out, and then you can take your half hour. It's like, dope.
Yeah.
And then let's go drinking. Okay, let's go drinking. Let's hop in Twinkie and take some bong hits.
I sometimes miss like, the freedom that comes with retail, because like working in an office, it's you have to have like a certain.
I work in office,
yeah. So you know what I'm talking about, like even with coworkers. But in retail, it was like you had the people that you didn't have to be professional with. I mean, like I had managers that I could walk into the store and be like, "Yo, what's up, fucker?" And they'd be like, "What's up, bitch?" Like we didn't give a shit. We didn't fucking care.
Yo, that was my man Jason. Yeah. I love that dude.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jason.
Everything about retail is
miss
different.
You.
I had one manager one time who came around the corner and stopped and was like, "Hey, you been losing weight?" And I was like, "Yeah, actually I have." He's like, "Yeah, your tits look smaller." I'm like, thanks for noticing.
Wow.
In an office setting, you can't say anything like that. You can't even like comment like, "Have you lost weight?" Because someone gets offended,
Yeah, sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Gotta call HR.
It's a different world.
We gotta go to a webinar, guys. Somebody call HR.
We have a whole day's training.
Oh, those are the worst.
All right, so the next topic, I think Wendy had a topic about a certain actor in his movies. If she can recall, I'd like to have her.
I can actually.
You can? Okay, well then please, you have the floor. Go for it.
Cool. So this all came about because I decided Monday, I'm not going to watch Monday Night Raw. I could not put myself through that fucking misery.
Me neither.
That 3-hour misery. So instead, I put myself through The Color of Outer Space featuring Nicolas Cage.
Isn't that one of like his worst movies?
Oh my God, no, it was brilliant. It was fucking great. Are you kidding? But I love weird movies like that. So just me. Very Lovecraftian, brilliant movie if you ask me. Fantastically made. There were some parts where I was just like, "What are you doing, Nick Cage?" And then I got to wondering, what fucked up Nick Cage movies do we like?
Ooh,
not the blockbusters like The Rock. No, the weird shit. Like
that's the thing with the weird shit. I don't know. Like Raising Arizona, I really liked.
Arizona was a good
Moonstruck. I know
I
he's
love
kind
Wicker
of a
Man.
star in Moonstruck with Cher, and Moonstruck was a great movie.
Well, that
he
was
did awesome.
Oscar nominated. So
what do we consider Kick-Ass?
Oh,
I love Kick-Ass, but it's mainstream.
Oh, that was mainstream. Okay.
And you know what? It blew my mind.
Spideyverse was solid too, though.
Three things that blew my mind about Nick Cage because I'm a nerd. One, he got to be the voice of Spider-Noir in the Spider-Verse movie, which was awesome. I love that character. Yes. Two, he got to be the voice of Superman in Teen Titans Go to the Movies, which was crazy. And three,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, my kid loves that movie. So when I saw it and I heard Nick Cage, I was like, oh! And three, he was actually in the running for Superman back during like the Superman Returns era.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm thinking, how the hell are you going to be Superman with a receding hairline? So like you can leap tall buildings and go faster than a speeding bullet, but you can't keep the hair on the top of your head.
That's how fast he goes. He goes so fast his hair blows off.
Oh, speaking of fast, I don't know if it's considered mainstream, but Gone in 60 Seconds, I love that movie.
Mainstream.
Okay. Yeah. But like Eleanor, that was my car. when it got crushed, I cried.
Mandy, did you guys see Mandy?
Aaron did. I didn't.
Oh, I love the movie Mandy. It was insane. The
I'm
violence,
sorry.
The drugs, the gore, the music.
What was it about?
The shots,
I forgot. Knucklehead saw it, not Uncle Keenan. Knucklehead, I think.
Okay, I was confused.
He brought it up. Didn't you see that movie?
I don't think so. I was going to suggest 8mm actually.
But
I don't know.
8mm.
I don't know if we're counting that
made me want to work at a sex shop as a kid.
I
was like, oh my god, like I need to do this in my life because.
Nice.
And believe it or not, she actually did.
I did.
Oh,
I was 18.
Knowing. That's the one.
At a high school, working at a sex shop.
Nice.
Thank you, Nick Cage.
That is a great movie, though. It's so bizarre and intense.
But yeah, I couldn't believe he was up for Superman. I was like, I love you, Nick. I love you, Nick, but I don't think you're Superman. I'm not gonna lie. Like voiceover,
with blue eyes though.
Voiceover, I get, but like actual character in a movie, Yeah, Superman
I'd have
with blue
him
eyes.
facing off against Will Smith, like Will Smith Iron Man kind of situation.
Yeah, really. I mean, honestly, even the reports that like maybe these when they finally do introduce, and I know this is off topic, but I gotta say it, when they finally do introduce like mutants into the MCU, they're talking about having like Denzel Washington play Magneto and having Magneto and Professor X go black and having the backdrop, instead of being the Holocaust because it doesn't match the timeline, having the backdrop be like the civil rights movement. And honestly, I'm kind of cool with that considering the circumstances. And plus, Denzel can act his ass off. So if he's Magneto, he's going to be a damn good Magneto.
Yeah, but who are they going to get to be?
I don't know.
I think of him in Training Day, but you actually want to cheer for him instead of thinking he's a dirty scumbag. Like,
right? Could you see Denzel Washington in like the Magneto garb saying some shit like "Wolverine ain't got shit on me"
with a Brooklyn accent?
I see him doing a very like down, like sort of the same way that Fassbender kind of went at it, and like I'd be fucking terrified if he just downplayed it.
I'm sorry. I know we were talking about Nick Cage, but it just popped into my head because I went to like Superman. But I agree with Aaron.
It's okay.
Like it's going to be an interesting premise if they bring it in. I know there are probably going to be people out there that complain, and it's going to be and my response is shut the fuck up. You know,
Yep.
like they got to do what they got to do to get mutants into this story. They bought the Fox properties for a reason, and if they decide to change this, fuck it, let them change it. It's honestly a better idea than most of the ideas they've had for the Star Wars movies. So
they've already kind of introduced them, though, in a sense, in I'll tell you in a couple of ways. Like, you know how at the end of Deadpool, when he got, or what's her name, to fix Cable's time travel device?
Oh, of course, because I love those cutscenes. Like, go back and killing his X-Men Origins Wolverine self. That was fantastic.
Consider what they're going to be doing with Phase 4 with, like, going back to the 90s, like, with certain characters, like Black Widow.
Yeah. And they did with Captain Marvel.
Most of the X-Men canon that we've had so far, like the last 10 movies, including Deadpool's and stuff, were all set in from like that period from the 1990s up to maybe 2012, 2020. Like it really depends depending on which timeline we're following. So if we're gonna just treat what happened with the Inhumans the same way, like they've already introduced them a number of ways.
No, I agree completely. I love those cutscenes from Deadpool too. They're fantastic. Like the Wolverine, the Green Hornet, even going back and trying to get after baby Hitler. That was funny as hell.
Did they specifically did they say it was Denzel, or was it just rumored to be Denzel?
There were rumors and reports saying that Denzel would be Magneto, and I can't remember who was supposed to be playing Professor X, but they were both going to be African American, and the backdrop was going to be the civil rights movement instead of the Holocaust, because obviously, we're in the 21st century, and if you bring these people back to the Holocaust, they'd be like almost older than Yoda. So I think it's a decent idea. I'm actually looking forward to seeing if they do it. Like, that would be cool, in my opinion.
So would they make Storm like Brooke Shields or something? Like, did black people reverse your white people, or how does that work?
I don't know how that works. I don't know if they have to have a quota, or if they're just going to make those two and then go with the other characters, or what. But I don't have all the information. I'm just bringing you what I know.
I gotcha.
Because I obviously I got Mutant Rejects that I do with Kathy and my brother, and I do a lot of research on X-Men stuff, and that popped up, and I was like, wow, that's a good goddamn idea. I mean, it could be cool, but I mean, I'm trying to think of like Nick Cage movies that aren't mainstream, and I don't think I've seen a whole lot of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
he has. I mean, he has over. I bet he has over 100.
He
movies.
does. He has like close to 100 and something. Like
the thing that still blows my mind to this day, and I know you can find it easier or whatever, but even when I was younger, my mom used to say, that Nick Cage is actually a Coppola. And I was like,
he is, yes.
He's a what?
He's a Coppola. Like Francis Ford Coppola, the director, like the legendary director. He's
The Godfather.
Of The Godfather. He's part of that family. He's a Coppola. So is the girl who played Adrian from Rocky, Talia Shire.
Yeah.
She's a Coppola as well. That's why she was in The Godfather.
I think he's Francis Ford Coppola's nephew, if I recall correctly. But the reason he used his name is so that he felt like if he kept Coppola, it would be like riding the name's coattails.
Yeah, same thing with Talia Shire. She thought if she kept the last name, then it would make her, it would just be like riding the coattails. So she took her mother's maiden name. And she ended up in The Godfather. She ended up in most of the Rockies until they killed her off. Which still makes me sad, damn it.
She died of the woman.
It's still real to me, damn it.
The womanly cancer took her away from Rocky. I'm like, oh.
What? So was Coppola like a famous like last name with like acting or okay?
Yeah, is a famous last name.
Yeah.
Because it's them director Sofia Coppola who did Marie Antoinette was a shit ass movie. And
Lost in Translation
is actually also a Coppola.
Yeah, Lost in Translation was
brilliant. Lost in Translation.
That was her.
Yeah.
Fucking masterpiece.
Yeah, like she's done some good stuff too. Francis Ford Coppola, he did The Godfather. He did a bunch of like movies.
I learned something today. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm glad I'm educating somebody because everybody else, I know. And it blew my mind when I heard it as a child because my mother would say, like, oh, yeah, he and Talia Shire, they're both Coppolas. They just didn't want to use the name. And I'm like, really? Why not?
Yeah, I was right. He's the nephew of Francis Ford.
I thought so. And I think Talia Shire is like a niece, too, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah. It's why like that blew my mind. Some of his stuff blows my mind. But let's see what we got next. Oh,
Oh no, Talia Shire is actually Francis Ford Coppola's sister.
Oh,
that's
sister.
Oh,
My bad. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot she was that old, to be honest.
So, Lord of War considered mainstream?
Because even when she was young, she looked old as fuck.
Who is that?
Talia Shire, the girl who played Adrian in Rocky.
Oh, I literally only know her as Adrian Balboa.
Yeah, Adrian Balboa. She's a Coppola too. Okay.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry, Knucklehead. Were you saying something, buddy? We kind of cut you off.
Oh no, it's all good. I was just gonna say, Lord of War, the movie with Nick Cage, is that mainstream?
I wouldn't think so, but it's a good movie.
I didn't see it.
What year did that come out?
It had Jared Leto, right? 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say somewhere in like 2005 or 6. Yeah.
Bangkok Dangerous. That was the other one.
Right,
I could have guessed he was starring Nicolas Cage in Bangkok Dangerous just on the name alone.
I'm sorry. That I know I'm 8, but that sounds like a porn to me.
I love them in Season of the Witch. That was actually a really good movie too.
Oh God, I forgot all about that. Yeah, that was a pretty good movie.
It was bizarre, like with Ron Perlman.
Mm-hmm.
Ron Perlman.
Good old Hellboy.
That's another great actor, man.
What happens?
Yeah, he's low key. Yeah, he's real low key.
I want to bust out my movie voice. Like, what happens when Hellboy and Ghost Rider team up for a movie? Nobody watches, but it's great. All right.
And I fucking love Nick Cage's style. Like, he's just so fucking out there.
By the way, Uncle Keenan, you were asking. That's another impression that I'm pretty good at. He'd asked on Facebook. I was like, I got a bunch. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, you can't categorize them or put them in a library. There's too many.
Since we have Uncle Keenan here and Wendy knows about it, and even Kathy knows a little bit about it, and it doesn't look like we're going to get Chris tonight. Sorry, dude. We miss you. Let's do our Drunks on Sports segment, which is dedicated to the reports that the XFL is actually looking for new ownership now that Vince McMahon has claimed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They can be bought basically for pennies on the dollar. If you're a wrestling fan, kind of like the way WWE bought WCW in 2000, where like they came in and spent like $500,000 and got everything. You know, and it was $1 billion company before that, but since they went under, it was like, here's $500,000 and I'll take everything. Do you think somebody will actually jump at the chance to resurrect the NFL, the XFL? I was going to say somebody like that too, because you know there's a lot of famous people with money, and they can't quite get an NFL franchise. But if they end up turning around and getting together and buying the XFL, like it might be a group of people, maybe like The Rock, maybe like retired football players, like Ray Lewis got some money, Terrell Owens got some money. They ain't really doing much. What if they decide to come together, purchase this league, and then start selling the teams to former players?
I mean, that's a hell of a vision. Yeah.
Because you could get it for next to nothing. And according to reports, like XFL, they were saying if it weren't for COVID-19, they would have generated they would have generated something like
money.
They actually have their projections, they were going to generate at least $50 million in profit this year. And they had an average of 20,000 people in attendance for their games. So
people were watching.
And people were watching too, because the ratings were, I mean, they're not on the NFL level, but if you remember, like they had that AAF league that was kind of like the XFL, but it didn't have, Vince McMahon. It didn't have the kind of backing and tools that XFL had, and it went under quick. But the XFL was actually doing well. Their ratings were like 4 and 5 times better every week than the AAF. So if somebody, it would not surprise me in the least if somebody would come in and buy this for pennies on the dollar, knowing like if I spend $1 million now, I can make 50 next year.
Didn't they have a kid, or not a kid, but somebody who basically hadn't played football since like his junior year in high school, like started going ham in it?
Oh yeah, it was
like one of the stars, and he may end up going to the league now.
one of the receivers from the Houston team, I can't remember his name, but he was a white guy. And he hadn't played since high school because he had blown out both knees and fucked up his back and done all this stuff. And he tried out, got on the roster, and actually helped them to an undefeated record before COVID-19 shut him down.
Yeah.
And yeah, he might get signed. There's a lot of people that have already gotten signed from those XFL rosters. The Carolina Panthers.
One of the quarterbacks was going crazy.
PJ Walker, my dude from the Houston Roughnecks. He was actually at Temple and kind of resurrected that program. And his coach at the time was the same coach that is now in charge of the Carolina Panthers. So he brought him in after he saw that PJ could still go. You know what I'm saying? Because like he hadn't really played since like 2016, and then he came out and dominated that league. Like he looked great.
Yeah, so, he was Patrick Mahomes in that whole thing.
He really was. He really was. He had like the weird arm positions and like side arm and passes and shit. He was crazy. But I knew that to begin with because I watched him at Temple. Like as soon as he started bringing that team up, I was like, yes. I was like, Philly. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody did turn around or a group of people did turn around and buy it. And I think Uncle Keenan agrees with me here. I know Wendy's sitting there like,
No, like I mean, it's kind of risky. Real quick. I just skimmed through the article real quick, and one thing that it brought up was the fact that they could do an audience-less thing.
Well, they could. They just didn't have the money. And Vince McMahon was not about to part with it at that point.
But I mean, now with this whole in these dark plague times, like now that they're being sold, that is an option they could take and make work for longer.
I mean, if I can find out how much they'd sell it in a bankruptcy auction, I might get a loan and we could take it over. And we're going to make money. Regardless, we'll make money. The cheerleaders might wear thongs underneath their skirts, but we're going to make some money. That'll just bring attendance up. It'll go from 20 to 30,000. Mark my words. We get a team to move to like Colorado, and we have like people selling weed in the crowd. Like, I got dime bags. Money.
You know what? It's bound to happen. Maybe I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and just speak it into existence now.
Okay.
The Seattle Seahawks will be the first team to actually sell it inside the stadium.
Well, they're gonna sell the XFL team.
Huh?
The Seahawks are gonna be selling the XFL team.
No, selling weed.
Oh, selling weed. Oh, my bad. No, I can see that too because it is legal out there too.
Yes.
They're gonna be the first. They're gonna be the first NFL team because they're already progressive with stuff. They got some weird plumbing system that's like 20 years ahead of its time. Something crazy like that. They have like solar power half their stadium.
Could you imagine like how delayed the reactions would be in that stadium during a Seahawks game? If they score a touchdown and you just hear crickets, and then like 5 minutes later, after the extra point in the kickoff, everyone's like, "Yay!" Because if you didn't bring it with you, now you got a contact high because you're sitting in the stadium. It's just everywhere.
Yo, you imagine how much food they would sell on concession alone?
Wow.
All those hot dogs, all the beer, and
they could not keep
all the things.
They could not keep like Funyuns
Snickers
and grape soda in that stadium. It just couldn't happen.
I mean, money's just sitting there. Money is just sitting there.
It's just sitting there waiting to be made. Y'all hit us up. Give us a little piece of the action, and we'll be cool. We'll come to Drunk Upon a Time from the stadium in Seattle. We might have to rename it High Upon a Time because we're in Seattle. Like, it's like, fuck, when in Rome.
I swear they should just call it Seattle or something like that.
Hi-addle.
Yeah, Hi-addle.
Green-addle. Oh, sea green. There we go.
Good one, actually. That's really good. I somebody who appreciates it.
It's like ding. I got to give myself one of them.
Hey, that's pretty good.
All right. I could definitely see them coming back. So I think, let's see. Before we raise the heck up out of here, obviously we've told a few stories. I'm wondering, oh wait a minute, I'm getting a photo from Wendy. Yeah, what is she sending me in the background? I swear to God, I'm gonna share my
It's
screen.
for Uncle Keenan and Cheddar.
It's for Cheddar. Okay, that's cute though. All right, so before we raise up out of here, I wanted to have, because I think we all have. Have you ever gone to a party, a wedding, some event like house party, wedding, could be a bar, whatever, and you thought you were gonna have fun that night, and the shit just went terribly wrong?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. We're gonna go to Uncle Keenan because although Wendy's got a big smile on her face, I almost want to go to her because she got to pick up her husband.
In what way do you mean went wrong?
I mean, like you went to have fun and the whole party just the whole function just derailed and something like epic fail kind of moment.
I don't know about the function derailing, but I sure shit derailed a lot.
Okay. Wendy's got to leave, so we're gonna kick this one to her first. Give us one of your funny derail stories.
Gin night. Yes, we named it Gin night.
Gin night. Oh,
we were at a house party and the booze was limited and no one brought any and there was no liquor store nearby. So we're like, fuck it, we'll drink what we find in these cabinets. Ginger beer, let's drink that shit. Bud Light, fucking shotgun this shit. We don't care. What's this? Hendrix? Hell yeah.
Whatever.
Everything. Mix that Hendrix with everything. What? Is this my nephew's Kool-Aid cooler? Mix it with that. Mix it with that. Mix it with everything. So fucking blasted. We're walking to the metro, right? I have to pee. The husband has to pee. We're literally peeing on some college's library window, right? Like ground floor, huge
which is impressive for her.
Bro, I peed everywhere. I had no shame. We see some lights and I'm like, babe, the cops are coming to get us. It was an ambulance. We managed to stumble to the fucking train station. Some girl sitting there crying because she had a terrible first date. Why are we both hitting on her? I don't even know. I really don't. We managed to make it onto the train. We get off at our stop. We live on a really steep hill, so we're like stumbling and trying. He's holding my hand because I'm far more blasted than he is. He lets go and starts walking ahead of me. I grab the first thing I can, which was like a stop sign, I think, and I start screaming, "Don't let go of me or the darkness will take me."
Oh my.
My last memory of the night.
See, that's why I don't fuck with gin. No.
Get inside. According to our roommate, the rest of the night ensued. Jose started screaming, "Where is it? Where is it?" Was tearing the bedroom apart, stomping on things. Don't know what he was looking for to this day.
I was just about to ask what he was looking for. Nothing.
I was hurling my guts out.
Found it.
Allegedly, I was hurling my guts out, and it was like violent, like, ah! Like the gates opened kind of thing.
Like, help me.
I managed to pass out in the doorway of the bathroom. No recollection. The roommate tried to wake me up and be like, "Hey, I need to use the bathroom. Do you mind?" I told him, "Don't worry, I won't remember any of this." It's true. I don't remember any of this.
Oh my God. No, that's a fantastic story. I'm trying to die laughing while
Gin night was bad.
Yeah, no more gin.
That was years ago. To this day, I was gin.
Oh my.
Those are not for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was one of many, many nights.
Okay, no, that is a great story. That's what Drunk Upon a Time is all about right there. All right, now Uncle Keenan had jumped in first, so I will let him go next. And then
I had went on almost the most perfect date I've ever been on. Like every move was working, every line was landing, everything.
Been there.
The dream.
Yeah.
You're like, I got this.
Definitely like a step up, and she had just made everything just like, okay, I got potential like in life, you know. I go in to, we're leaving Ruby Tuesdays in Williamsburg. Go in to like basically go in for the kill kiss. Now there's a bunch of people. I don't know if I remember it was snowing. So I'm assuming it was just a holiday or, something, just a packed day. Going to kiss her, I slip on the ice in the parking lot.
Oh no.
And bust my shit open. Like I'm blood's coming off my arm. Not only that, but I reached for her as I fell.
Oh no! Did you take her down too?
I tried.
You're like, you're coming with me, man.
Yeah. And then
first test of our relationship.
Yeah,
and you take a fall.
A trust fall. So they're laughing in the window. I try to get up and I slip again because it was the type of like ice where, because people are driving, all the ice had basically made a little hill, and I slipped twice. So that was definitely my and needless to say that it didn't really anything happen crazy after that. I tried like a few more times and her cat got in the way, and it was just
you're like, oh, come on, baby, it's not bleeding that bad.
Yeah. So I never got with that one again. And the thing was, she was eating it all up. I mean, I'll never forget that day.
Well,
and it was like I had knew the waitresses, so they were being like super extra.
Of course.
Right. Well, I mean, at least on the bright side, you didn't have to get staples.
That is true. I do have well, it's kind of hard to see. It's been because of cocoa butter, but that little line right there on my elbow, like that was gashed open and it swole.
Oh, thank you, cocoa butter. Oh man, I have so many of these stories. I don't even know which one to tell. It's crazy. What do you have one, sweetheart, or? She's like, I have a few too.
So this one time, Dom came early. No, just
and there's our son. No. The one time I don't pull out. Goddamn.
I can't really tell stories very well, so you're gonna have to like help me. But remember when we went? It was a house party,
right?
Of our friends. I think it was a Halloween party.
Oh, at her brother's house.
Yeah.
Okay.
And remember his roommate had like a bunch of those damn sugar gliders.
Oh yeah. And he was that really flamboyantly gay guy, Lawrence, who just I mean, he honestly kind of looked like a young version of Andy Dick. Like, no lie.
But he was running around with fairy wings and like glitter all over him.
And love.
No, I wanted to kill this motherfucker by the end of the night.
Well, yeah,
because I was wearing this shirt that I loved. It was like a big t-shirt with Notorious Big on the front. And if you ever seen the Hip Hop Honors on VH1 where they did Biggie, Ludacris was actually wearing my shirt that night. I had it before him. It was this big white shirt with a giant picture of Biggie on that I love. And Lawrence comes skipping up to me and his body glittered his wings. He's like, hey, how you doing? And he's got a drink in his hand and he's got hardwood floor under him and he's wearing socks with this outfit. I don't know why, but he's wearing socks with wings and underwear and glitter. And he slips and his whole drink just splashes down my shirt. Ooh. And this is how the night starts. This isn't even the fail yet. And then
gets on my open-toed shoes.
Wow. Yeah.
My vintage open-toed shoes.
On her vintage, like that her mom gave her, that like her mom gave her, you know.
I was pissed.
Oh, okay. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll take
it. So it was towards the end of the night and everybody was just like parting ways and a lot of people like passed out and everything. And Dom and I had just said, let's just go lay down. So we went, I think it was the other roommate's room. And
yeah, because they were out of town.
Yeah. And, it was kind of weird. They had like a bunch of little animal cages and it kind of threw me off. But there's like this huge cage of at least 2, probably 3 sugar gliders.
Which, by the way, I don't even notice because I am drunk.
Yeah, he is totally out of it.
I'm gone. I got like 19 flags in my back. I've been drinking tequila all night. Like I'm just gone.
Yeah.
We get in there. I fall flat on this futon because they had a bed and a futon. I fall flat out on this futon and I go out. And then.
Well, I have a hard enough time falling asleep at anybody else's house. And I wasn't really that drunk either. But I was totally skeeved out by these sugar gliders because all night I'm just trying to fall asleep. These little sugar gliders are just staring at me with their big
nocturnal, by the way.
Yes, with
They
their
have like big eyes too, and they're just kind of like.
They got those big like black eyes that shine in the middle of the night.
Yep.
Black soulless eyes.
Yep.
I was so freaked out. I didn't sleep at all that night.
Yeah, like I came to the next morning like, damn, I drank too much. Fuck, I need breakfast. Like, where the fuck? I didn't even remember. I was like, where the fuck are we? And she's sitting up on this futon just staring in this cage. And this sugar glider is like hanging right in front of her from the cage, just staring back at her. Like, bitch, I got you. In fact, Aaron, Uncle Keenan, if you remember, there was one night in PetSmart where you paged her to go to specialty because I was facing this stuff, and I grabbed that can of sugar glider food that had the big sugar glider on the front, and when she came around the corner, I just popped it out at her, and she like screamed and ran. That's why. Oh, it was terrible. I felt so bad for her. Like, we got in the car the next morning, like early, and she slept the whole way. I had practically, like, I wasn't doing that well myself, but I practically like carried her in the house because she couldn't wake up, and like put her in bed, and then I went and passed out like on the couch while I was eating breakfast. I'm like, eggs.
Thinking back on it, I don't think I've ever had like a party that's gone bad or anything like that. Like,
lucky you.
Oh, I've had a bunch.
But say I've had some.
I've had a bunch, man. Like I can't even figure out where my story is gonna go. I've got a really awful like leading up to wedding story. I've got a really awful house party story. I've got a really awful like running from the cops story.
I
got a lot of them too.
No, I threw up in the backyard of the house party once, like in the far corner of the backyard. And then a few years later, I found out like grass never grew again in that patch. And they actually put a sign there. Like my friend put a sign.
Okay.
I don't even know, man. Jungle juice or some shit. And my friend put a sign there, like dedicating it to me, essentially. And I was like, I ruined your backyard, man.
All right, so I'm gonna go for this because I was real tight with this dude back in Philly, and he lived in the suburbs. His family had money, so that was one reason. Because like I go out there, and his parents loved me, and they had this big ass house, and they would just like buy me shit, and I was like, cool. But he was a cool dude. He kind of talked like Pauly Shore back in the day. Like every time I came to his house, like I'd pull up in my car, I'd get out, and he'd be standing in the driveway smoking a cigarette, like, "What's up, buddy?" And we had known each other since I was in like ninth grade, and I just started dating her. I'm like deep in my 20s, and so it had been a minute, and he was getting married, and he wanted me to be the best man, and I was like, okay, cool, I got you, but I'm in Virginia and he's in Philly. Right before the wedding, he and his fiance almost break up. I talked them back into getting together. They keep their plans. They move forward. A week later, I'm told I'm not the best man anymore. Why not?
Ooh.
Oh, well, my fiance wants so-and-so's brother to be the best man, so that's what I'll go with. I was like, okay. So then the best man tells me about the bachelor party they're having in Philly 20 minutes before the bachelor party. I am 300 and some odd miles away, so I don't get to go to that either. But I'm still going to show up because I'm in the groom party. It's my boy. I got to support him. Even if he is marrying somebody that I hooked up with while drunk at a graduation party.
Oh, you guys are Eskimo brothers.
Yeah, actually, if we want to get technical, since he'll probably never listen to or watch this, I hit it first. So, when he would talk shit about her, like, man, she's great in the sack, and I was like, I don't know about great in the sack, but she sure could suck a dick. Like, but that's how I thought. That's what I felt inside. Never said it, but
good for you. You're a good friend.
So I drive from here in Virginia up to Philly to see him, which is fine because she was still going to school in Philly, so I could see her, bring her to the wedding. Get dressed up, have a nice time. We got pictures. It was cute. Whatever. Everything's going okay. The night before, his parents throw a party in the suburbs at their house, and we all show up, and we're having a great time. I love her, his fiance's parents. They remember me from way back, so we're like doing shots together, maybe smoking a little weed. We're having a good time. Everything's going cool. Everything's good. Next thing I know, my buddy calls me into his house, says, we got to talk about the wedding tomorrow. I'm like, okay, cool, because I'm in the groom's party. So, like, I got to figure out what the fuck I'm doing. Got the tux, got to figure it out. So I go in, and it has nothing to do with the wedding. I come into, like, what is now a impromptu almost intervention with him and his fiance. But he ain't saying nothing now. He's just sitting there like this. And his fiance starts in with, well, so-and-so and I don't like that girl that you're dating, and I just don't understand why you're with her, and I can't stand her. I'm like, yeah, you can't stand her because she's prettier than you and you're fucking jealous. But go ahead.
Wow. I would have busted in there like, where the white women at?
And yeah, exactly. So she keeps going on, and eventually she says to me, after this wedding, if you don't break up with that girl, I don't think we're gonna be able to see you again. And so I'm just sitting there. I got a shot of beer in front of me because her mother had just brought me a shot of beer when they called me in. So I take my shot, I chase it with a beer, and I was like, well, guess it's been nice knowing you. Put the shot in the empty beer down on the table, and I walked the fuck out. And clearly, I'm still.
Wow.
But yeah, and then we get to the wedding, and now people are throwing attitude at me because this girl has already gone to all her friends at the wedding and told them, like, oh, Dom says he doesn't want to see us anymore, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bullshit. So now it's this whole high drama thing where it's not about them getting married. It's about what I apparently said when they caused this whole fucking intervention in the first place. So I got people giving me dirty looks. I got people coming up to me, like, right before the wedding saying, like, how could you do this? Like, this is wrong. Like, you don't approve of their. I'm like, no, that's not how it happened. And I have to keep explaining it. So I'm thinking I was going to go into this, see my buddy get married, have a good time, make a funny speech, have some drinks, do some dancing, maybe, a little chicken shit. Nah, instead, I'm in the middle of some drama I just drove 300 and some odd miles to be a part of.
Wow. At that point, you got to go all out Hellboy.
Oh,
Deadpool, everything.
Man, I wish I had that gauntlet. Just bye, y'all.
Oh, but it's genocide.
Those motherfuckers deserved it.
And every time we kept trying just like to talk one-on-one with each other, the goddamn photographer is like, oh wait, that's the perfect shot.
Yeah.
And so we would have to move.
I would back off while they were taking photos because I wasn't supposed to be in them, and I'm like meeting up with her. Like, if she's asking me if I'm okay, I'm like, I'm sick of these motherfuckers and this drama. Like, I didn't come here for this. I'd rather just be chilling with you somewhere. And every time I did, the photographer was like, oh my God, that's a great spot, guys. I'm like, motherfucker, if you don't get up out my face.
Wow.
like, I'm from the suburbs. Some shit will happen to you.
I take it you don't talk to him anymore?
No. No, I ain't talked to him in a while. He actually sent me a friend request on Facebook, and I accepted it to see how he was doing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, like, there are Facebook couples, and you see their photos, and you say, oh, they're happy. But then there are Facebook couples, and you see their photos, and one of them looks happy, and the other one just looks like, can you please hit me with a bus right now? That's them. That's the girl and my buddy. Like, she's always ear-to-ear grin, like, whatever, with their kids, and he's standing there like,
and
kill me.
Happy too. It's that like for the likes happy, like
yeah,
right. Like she's happy. Got that, and he's just like.
I lost some friends that way too.
Yeah,
I lost a few good ones to that.
I mean, I'll be honest. It might be maybe the only person that I ended up losing in the entire time I've been with this woman because they said, "Oh, you shouldn't be with that girl," and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, she's too good for me."
Was she like cussing people out at the time?
No, I was nothing but nice to them.
No, she was nice. She was nice to them. Like, my buddy used to love her before he started dating this girl, got engaged and all this shit. And then he was just real quiet. And she was like, I don't like her. I don't like her. I don't like her. I was like, why? Because you had to diet to look like half as good in your wedding dress as she looks in just, pajamas. Like, why?
You're better than me, because I'd be like, if you don't like me, that's a personal problem. You need to deal with your own personal issues, girl. Like, you need Jesus in your life, and you need to get over your hate and your obsession with me.
See,
girl,
I'll give you a little bit more background on this woman, and then you probably understand. Because every girl I ever dated while she was with my friend was no good.
Yeah, because she has issues with herself, and she
because I wasn't about to start dating her. That was the whole point.
She got issues with herself. She needs to sort her shit out.
It was like, it's not my, we hooked up once,
Yeah, it was like
she needs to get herself
like we once got busy in a graduation party bathroom. Get over it. It was years ago. It was 1997. What do you want me to say? It's a new day.
All right, you guys. I am so sorry to do this. It is 11. I need to cut out. I have to take care of something.
That's no problem.
Oh no, please! I know you weren't drinking because you got to pick up Jose. So say hi to the hubby.
Yeah.
Tell him I miss him.
I will. Let me go pick up my essential personnel.
Yes, please do that. Thank you.
Okay.
We love you, homegirl.
Good night. Happy birthday,
See
Cheddar.
ya.
Cute little birdie.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so I'm looking down here, and
to
be honest with you, we're pretty much looking like I really don't want to do the list of things you can do in California without Chris because he's from there and brought it to my attention. So
yeah, and we might
save that for next week. And I certainly don't want to do game time with just 3 people because that just
or 2.
I can't get in it, so it would be you and the Aarons, and Chris is in the lead. So that would kind of,
and my battery's kind of low.
Okay, so at that point, all right, at this point, we're gonna call it a night. We're gonna bring up last call, and we're gonna thank you for listening to all this, watching all this. If you're checking out our beautiful faces on YouTube, and we want to invite you to follow us on social media. You can find us at Drunk Upon a Time on Twitter. You can definitely find us on YouTube. Just search for Fox Den Productions, which is my lovely company. We have this show, we have Mutant Rejects, we have Top Rope Wrestling Talk. It's a lot of content in one place. It's great. Check it out, especially if you're just sitting at home and you don't have anything else to do. Hey, come let us entertain you. Fuck it. And if you're not into YouTube shows and you'd rather just listen to a podcast while you're, sitting at home or out for a jog or whatever the fuck, we got you too. Just go to anchor.fm/FoxDen and you will see our website. All of our episodes will pop up for Drunk Upon a Time, Mutant Re platforms. We have Spotify and a few others. I've just submitted for iTunes, for Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, a slew. We're trying to get everywhere. So if you are looking for something to entertain you in these dark times, hey, let Fox Den help you out. And so for everybody that showed up, my homegirl Wendy, Uncle Keenan, the Canadian Knucklehead, my beautiful wife, pre-Mother's Day, everybody, we won't be back to you. So happy Mother's Day. Enjoy. Don't forget to get your mom something. Just pro tip, okay? Peace.